Yeah, dude, I haven't been there. It's been forever since I've been there.
Yeah, and I will admit I did not close Wolski's. Doing what I do, I typically do not close bars. And when I was down there, we just had so much stuff going on. I had teamed up with Visit Milwaukee. They had reached out to me about coming down and hey, you want to come down to Milwaukee and review some of our bars and so I hit 22 bars, two two distilleries, and then in a supper club while I was down there for that
For
weekend. So,
how, for a weekend?
well, yeah, that was a 4 day trip.
Oh my goodness, bro.
Lots of Ubering for sure.
No
So,
joke. Wow. All right, let's just get started because I have so many questions for you. I'm pumped for this, man.
all
I'm
right.
serious.
It's gotta be against the law to look this damn good. Cause baby, I feel real good and I wish I would. It's gotta be against the law to look this damn good. Everybody watch out. Watch out now. I'm ready for a good time. And I came to groove. The whole band's here and we came to move.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Business Over Beer podcast. I'm your host, Ben Surratt, and I am super pumped that I can finally meet this guy that we have on today. So before I do, though, I want to let everybody know that I'm drinking some Elysian. Can you see? Probably can't see. Yeah, there we go.
Yep, there you go.
There we go, kinda. That's the problem with these screens, like these
The green
background. There
screens,
we
yeah.
go.
There you go.
Some
Get it in
space
front of you,
dust.
then we can see it.
Awesome. Mystery guest, who are you and what do you do?
My real name's Jared Schutz, and I guess I'm the Wisco Dive Bar guy, and I travel all over the state, basically shooting commercials for these locally owned awesome bars all across the great state of Wisconsin.
Yeah, man. And I've for people who don't know, obviously, we've been trying to do this for a while. And I really appreciate you taking the time to do this, man. I know how busy you are. So I'm super, super grateful for you doing this.
Yeah, no, and I'm like you said, I feel like it's been a few 3 or 4 months and
Oh
trying
yeah.
to get together in person. And then it's like the podcasts are, it's always cool to meet up in person, but sometimes just the way the world works out, sometimes we have to do stuff this way, which is always cool as well.
For sure. We'll make it happen sometime though, real soon.
Yeah, for sure.
So tell me a little bit about Wisco Dive Bars. What is Wisco Dive Bars?
I created this craziness January 14th of 2022. I had this idea, like I love these dive bars. I've loved them my entire life. Or what since I've been 21 or close to it. And I just had the idea of, I thought, well, like newspapers are dead. So you don't see advertising for dive bars on there. You've never heard a commercial for a dive bar on the radio. You've never seen a commercial on TV for a dive bar. I'm like, there's a gap in the market here where these places are so majestic and such a vital piece of Wisconsin history. Like, let's promote them to keep them around. Because I know how Wisconsinites think. I know if I could showcase them a cool bar an hour and a half away from where they live, they would go there. And they
Yeah.
have proven that hundreds and thousands of times in the last, almost 3.5 years.
Yeah, that's crazy. How many people do you have following you now? I mean, a rough estimate because you're on TikTok,
Yeah.
the
I'm on,
gram,
yeah,
and
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Threads. I'm around 370,000 followers
jeez, that's
total.
insane. And that's all organic.
Yeah, it is, and I made it a point to do that. I wanted it to be organic. I know that these bars are organic and they got a following the organic way, and that's the exact way. I don't pay for followers. I don't pay to boost my views. I don't do any of that stuff. I just let the followers, find me, and it's cool when I get to an area where, say, I could be down in the Milwaukee area, and I could just see like all of a sudden all these people from Milwaukee are following me. Then I get to Green Bay, and it's the same thing. I can get to a little tiny town. somewhere in the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin. And anybody with ties to that little town, whether they grew up there, still live there, used to live there, they just rally around what I do. And I think with the amount of following that I've created, I think people just think it's really cool that a guy like me, with the social media following that I do, finds their little hometown that might be 6 bars, a farm, 2 churches, and 3 bars.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
and I just described every small town in Wisconsin.
I was just gonna say, man. So define a dive bar. Like, what's a dive bar to you? Like, what?
And there's no set criteria of what, makes a place a dive bar. Like you have to have 8 of these 10 to be a dive bar. And I tell people like dive bars are kind of like real estate. It's all about location sometimes.
Mm,
I've gone to a lot of really great places that I probably wouldn't consider dive bars, but they're in a town of 75 people, or
mm,
they're out in the middle of the country surrounded by farms. And they're really nice places, but I just think like location almost makes a place a dive bar, you know, kind of, versus the overall look of it. But your prototypical dive bar, just kind of the siding's falling off and probably looks like they started painting it and then stopped, a quarter of the way through. And, you've got the wood paneling, you've got the neon
yeah,
beer
dude.
signs,
I
you've
mean,
got,
you
yeah.
walk for me like I think of a dive bar. I think of like 3 beers on tap, a whole bunch of like rumple mints, some
Oh, yeah.
and like and some deep fried food, but good food,
Yeah.
like good food. But like you said, the small town, the atmosphere
Right.
is what I think when it comes to a dive bar.
It's, and so many of these places are just the pulse of the communities that they're in. And yeah, like you said, maybe the true dive bars don't even have tap beer. They might, I've been to bars that appear to have 300 different selections of liquor. I've also been to bars that, like, here's our 10 choices of liquor you got. Like that's
Jeez.
what we have, and some of these bars only have 6 or 8 different beers, like it was growing up, and going to bars and stuff in the late 80s and early 90s, where you would just see, you had your Budweiser, your Miller.
Yeah.
I mean, Bush Light probably wasn't even a thing back then, but just very few selections. You had your Schlitz, your Schmidt, your PBR, of course. And now there's, like, I swear every week there's 15 new kinds of beer or vodka seltzers, or now these THC drinks are becoming a thing.
It's crazy.
There's just so many options. I don't know how bars decide what they're going to carry and what they're not.
Yeah. I mean, they listen to their people,
Yeah,
that's it. That's the big thing. Kind of like what these dive bars do. They don't need to change because their patrons come back regardless.
right.
Like, have you ever talked to a dive bar who like they were gonna change or they have changed and they lost people? Like, has that ever happened?
That hasn't happened. I guess not that I can think of right off the bat, but I do. So the one place that pops into my mind when you said, like, talking about changing, the Moccasin Bar in Hayward, which is an absolute staple of Hayward. That place was actually owned by Seymour Ham, the founder of Hams,
No
and
way.
so like, it's an old place, and they have quirky taxidermy in there. It's incredible. And we were up there. I've been there a handful of times, but we were back up there last summer again, and I heard that through the grapevine that somebody was buying it and they were going to take out all the taxidermy. And I thought, well, they better not, because that's what makes that place, what it is. And the owner that I talked to, he had it for sale, and he said he was going to sell it to this guy, and they were going to change everything. And he's like, no, he's like, if you're going to change it, I'm not selling it. And he said they will always have Ham's beer on tap there. Like, that's one of the rules. Like, if you're a new owner, here's the rule. Like, you always have to have Ham's on tap. Um, I mean, that's cool. I mean, once you take something out of a bar, like, you can't get it back. Like, you
Right.
can't, and that place is just, it's right on the main drag in Hayward. It's kind of the gateway to the gateway to the greater northern Wisconsin, in the western Wisconsin
Yeah.
side. But I'm so glad that he put his foot down and stood up for the place, and tells you just how much he appreciates the nostalgia of everything that place holds from day one until present day.
Yeah, I love that, man. So how many have you visited now? And how long, how long,
800,
how
yeah,
many? 800 something?
875.
Oh, jeez. And when did you start this?
January 14th of 2022. Um, so yeah, I mean, I probably average reviewing a bar every like 1.3 days. So about every 34 hours or so.
And you have a
I,
day job too, right?
yeah, I'm a carpenter Monday through Thursday. And then I have my youngest daughter who is 14. I have her half the time. Like, so I got her from school today. So I'll spend a weekend and week with her, and then next Friday I'll drop her off at school at 7:30, and by 11 I might be in Superior, I might be in Ashland, I might be in Milwaukee, Madison.
Jeez.
So yeah, then I hit bars on the weekends, and then I'm up at 4:30 on Monday morning ready to go back to my other job.
How do you balance all that?
It's not easy. It's not easy, and I feel like my life before I started this was busy. Now I've somehow crammed a 60 to 80 hour a week job into my already busy life. And the people, like you guys get to see the videos that I create. Like that's just, a 1 minute, minute and a half kind of thing. There's so much that goes into it, whether the travel. I mean, any given weekend, I might spend 10 hours driving,
Oh,
going from different
jeez.
locations to, there's sometimes where I drive, if I go to Milwaukee, I'm driving 4.5 hours before I even get to the first place. So, um,
Man.
it's taken a lot to balance it out, and I get so many comments that people say, "Well, you're living my dream job." Well, people don't understand.
Yeah,
Like it's more than what you're seeing on the screen. That's for sure. I mean, that's you guys are getting to watch the 3% of it. There's
right.
97% that goes on that's maybe less fun, but it's all stuff that needs to be done, and this is it's not easy running a small business. So I mean, I totally can relate to these bar owners on what they have to do to create a small business. Because I mean, my account took off so fast. I was an LLC, I believe April 2nd or April 3rd of 2022. So
Wow.
less than 3 months, I was an LLC. So I mean, I've been a small business for a little over 3 years myself. So I know the struggles.
Yeah.
And it does cost a lot of money to do what I do. I mean, the travels and if I have friends in an area, that's awesome. Somewhere I can stay for free. But I do get a lot of hotel rooms. And the way I look at it, like if I get a hotel room, like your average hotel is 125 to 150
Yeah.
dollars now.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to sell 8 hoodies to make up for that, hotel room. So
Yeah.
it's a constant flow. I mean, but it is what it is. I embrace it all. I hope people can see in my videos that I'm having an absolute blast doing this. And I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up because you're right. Every single video that I've seen of yours, you seem like your energy level is the exact same. If you
Yeah.
saw one from like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, it's the exact same energy level. How do you keep that up, man? Like what keeps you grinding and having that energy, that love, that passion?
I think one of the main things that makes all of my that, like you said, that level, um, I'm just being me. I'm not, this isn't an act like what people, I love going out to bars and meeting my followers. And it's not often that I go to a bar where somebody in there doesn't know who I am anymore. But since I started this, there's a lot more, there's plenty of more people that are doing dive bar stuff, on, social media. And like, that's cool. I'd like to think I'm the pioneer. I'm the, kind of the OG to really blow it out of the water. And when people are trying to copy me, that's I'm flattered.
Hmm.
But competition is good. It keeps me grinding, and I can have 1,000 people trying to copy what I do, but the one thing, I can't control that. I worry about things I can control, and I guarantee there isn't anybody that's going to outwork me doing what I do. I take a lot of pride in what I do. I work way harder than I probably should, but I've got a passion for this, and this is my baby. It came from a thought, and it's turned into, what it has, and I feel like I'm just getting ready to take off now. I
Yeah.
mean, even though I've 360,000 plus followers, and I think last year I did on all formats right around 75 million views.
Wow.
So yeah, but it's a grind. It is. But if, like I tell people, if you're not willing to bust your ass for yourself, who are you going to bust your ass for? So,
Amen, dude. Like, and that's
um,
with it's anything, man. That's just with
yeah,
anything.
yeah, and I mean, I'm old school. I'll be 48 here at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Oddly, I share a birthday with Wisconsin, oddly enough.
Do you
May
really?
May 29th, yeah. Wisconsin became a state May 29th, 1848. I'm a little younger, but yeah, it's almost like I was born to rep Wisconsin with what I did just from day one. And I absolutely love it. I mean, we've got the nicest people in this state, and so many of them hang out at these awesome local dive bars, whether they're 800 square feet or 2,800 square feet.
Yeah, I agree. It's what makes that, it's the dive bars, it's the supper clubs, but it's the people, man. Like at the end
Yeah,
of the day, the, the people here are authentic. You know what you're going to get when you talk to these people. And in the small towns, man, it's like, it seems like for me, it grounds me a little bit. Like when
mhm.
I lived in Washington State I moved for about 20 years, my wife and I, and we would visit and going to like Millhome Supper Club in outside of Kiel, Wisconsin, and meeting with local people, it just grounds me. It grounded me you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
got back to my roots. I guess that's what it is. I got back to, man, this is where I'm from. I need to embrace it. And because for years I tried to run away from it. But moving back now, 20 years later, and then seeing what you're doing and doing what I'm doing here and getting back out in the community, bro, I truly understand now why I love the people here. I just do.
yeah.
It's crazy to say.
Well, and that's a cool thing about these dive bars, because you could walk into any dive bar, and there may be, say there's 8 guys sitting at the bar. One might be unemployed, one might be a retired farmer, one might be a retired doctor, one might be a school teacher, one might be a bartender. Um, just all walks of life, and they're all the same
Yeah.
when they're in there. Nobody's better than anybody else. They're all the same. And I think that's just one of the things. Like, I instantly feel that when I walk into a place. Like,
Mm,
I can just read the room, and you can just tell when people are disingenuine. But I mean, it doesn't happen
yeah.
often at all doing what I do. It's the nicest people. And when I walk into a place recording too, I always go in first.
Oh,
And I'm always 100% respectful to the people that are in there. I'm coming into their bubble. That's their that's their safe house, and I'm coming in and just taking a little bit of their time doing what I do to help promote their bar. So I'm being 100% respectful, and it really helps too with all my reviews being 100% positive.
yeah.
I don't want to, people have asked me like, "Well, I'm still waiting for you to tear a bar apart." Now imagine if I tore a bar apart, and 3 or 4 months later I drove by that bar and they were closed because I killed their business with my
Mm,
negative. I mean, that wouldn't sit well with me, and I would probably walk away from what I do because of it.
yeah.
I mean, this is a lot of these people. It's not just their livelihood; it was their parents, and some of them even their grandparents
Hmm.
and great grandparents. I mean, they hold generations of memories, and I love that I can capture everything that goes on with these bars, because I think supper clubs more so than dive bars, but we're losing a lot of them. Like
Yeah.
we really are. But I feel like we've had a lot more. We've lost more bars, but probably a lesser percentage. They're supper clubs were a little more popular, but there just wasn't nowhere near as many supper clubs as there were dive bars.
Yeah. Dude, 100%. Are we losing a lot of supper clubs? Is that really a thing?
I mean, it seems like it is. Like I don't, I mean, maybe not. I know, but I think the thing is, it seems like the counties, like there was maybe 10 supper clubs in each county,
Yeah,
but
that's
there's
true.
100 dive bars.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So when you do lose one, it just feels like a bigger loss than a bar closing.
Yeah. When you first started, what was the reception from like was it like what is this guy doing or was it, people like welcoming right away?
I think at first it was a combination of the two. And even me on my end, I was like, what is this guy doing? I'm still um but I think people embraced it really quick. And like my very first video, little bar, Langer's bar, it's the size of a one car garage basically, and it's not too far away from where I live. And I remember back in the early 80s, they even had gas pumps there. Like it was,
Mm.
and I want to say maybe they went out, 82, 83, something like that. But I just did a video of me pulling in, as I was driving in. I took a picture of the bar, and then I did a back pan of the bar because that's where the quirky stuff is at. That's where the pickled pig's feet are. That's where the pickled eggs are. That's where the
Oh my
sardines are at.
goodness.
And I thought that's the stuff that the people want to see, and that's why every bar has that back pan of the bar because there's some weird stuff back there. So it and that video was a little bit different. I mean, I had my bars. I would just put them to music. I would just I wouldn't do a voiceover or whatever. And then that first video blew up like on TikTok, did over 500,000 views.
Get out.
And I was like, excuse me, like what in the world is going like I got to go to another bar. And then for whatever reason, then I just took my phone, this phone exactly, and I'm like, hey, I'm here in Spring Valley at my hometown. I'm outside the spillway. For whatever reason, I did that. And that was so smart for me to do that. Every video starts with my face. So you instantly know that it's me.
Yeah.
And it starts with my voice, and I get recognized by voice so much.
Hmm.
And like getting back to the competition thing, like it's not even a competition, like these other people that are doing the dive bar stuff, um but that's one of the things that makes me stand out. So I started doing the voiceover thing like maybe a year and a half ago or so. Maybe getting close to 2 years, where I started doing the voiceover and doing the verbal review that way. And that's been gold. I mean, it's made me stand out so much more.
Yeah.
It's but yeah, and like, and I'm always constantly trying to throw new things in, tweak things a little bit. Like I've
Hmm.
always done the map at the end of my videos to see, like people obviously if they love the bar, like where is it? So if I show it on the map, they can see it. But then I also have a website, wiscodivebars.com, that's been around 2 years in January. But it shows that you get on there, it shows a map of Wisconsin. Every bar location I've been to is pinned.
I saw that, man. That's rad. That
Yeah.
really is cool, man. And
Yeah,
you've
and
been
then
to
you can.
Arizona too, right? Or something. I
Yeah,
saw,
yeah,
yeah.
I've hit some in Arizona too, and yeah, you can zoom in on any place. So if you're, say you're camping up in Ashland, you're like, well, get on wiscodivebars.com, see the bars I've hit around there. You can click on any tab, it'll pull up my video off of YouTube, and then there's a big blue button that says navigate here, and it'll give you GPS coordinates right to the place.
That's
So
yeah, it's amazing. Is so do you do this by yourself or do you have help?
I am by myself. I mean, my fiance helps me. A lot of times she's driving. She helps with, maybe ordering some stuff and some little behind the scenes stuff, but I do all the videoing, I do all the editing, I do call all the shots. I'm if somebody shoots me a message on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Threads, shoots me an email, it's always me on the other end 100%. And I don't care if I have 50 million followers, I always want it to be that way. Just because I'm in total control, like I don't want other people speaking for me.
Mm-hmm.
I just take a lot of pride in being, the the numero uno to what I do. So
Yeah. Uh, what has what has been the most surprising um aspect of what you're doing? Has anything like said, wow, I didn't expect this to happen?
I mean, as far as I mean, well, I mean, I was doing this for maybe 6, 7 months, and I told my fiance, I'm like, well, like we're always going to Quick Trip. Like I should just mix in some Quick Trip videos doing what I do and see if I can get Quick Trip's attention.
Oh,
And I got their attention. Um, and they messaged me. I think they reached out initially on TikTok and said, "Hey, we love your videos. We think Quick Trips and dive bars go hand in hand." I'm like, "So do I." Obviously, they do. And now I've been under contract with Quick Trip for almost 2.5 years. So
dude, are they
they're one of my
sponsor?
sponsors. Yeah.
That is incredible. Well, I saw, didn't you get, was it Crocs? Was it
Oh,
Crocs?
yeah. You mean these ones that I'm wearing right now? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
bro, dude. I was like,
Yeah.
I like don't see myself as a Croc person until I saw those.
First pair of Crocs I've ever owned.
Yeah,
Honestly.
those are fantastic.
Yeah, and I've got a big Quick Trip flag hanging up here. You can't quite see it, but I've got gosh, where is it? I've got a sticker on the side of my beer fridge, a see you next time sticker,
Oh,
or
that's
a
awesome.
magnet. Yeah, I absolutely love Quick Trip. Their social media is hilarious, and I don't know if there's anything more Wisconsin than dive bars and Quick Trip.
I agree, man. And bagged milk.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and they're such a great company, and they treat their employees so well, and I'm so proud to say that I'm part of that Quick Trip team. And yeah, I was actually you mentioned Arizona. I go to Arizona every year on vacation, and it was January of 2024. I was sitting at Sky Harbor Airport in Phoenix, just waiting for my vacation to be over to get on my plane and come back home, and that's when Quick Trip sent me an email and officially offered me my
Wow.
first contract. So obviously it means a lot to me. I know exactly where I was when I got that email. So yeah, and that's doing what I do. Like I said, it costs so much money for me to do what I do, and I couldn't do what I do to the extent that I do it without my sponsors.
Yeah. How many
And
sponsors do you have?
so I've got my three big sponsors, like Nicolay Law is another one. You may have seen a
Okay.
billboard, or 7,000 of theirs.
I would love to interview that dude.
Yeah, Russell. So I got Russell's right here. Go ahead and interview him if you want to. Uh, but yeah, I've got Nicolay Law, and I've got some more Nicolay Law stuff here. Like I've got my own personal little billboard up here. I don't know if you can see it in the shot, but like they sent me my own personal little billboard.
Dude, that is
Um,
awesome.
and then I have Iron Mountain Refrigeration, which they're
Yeah.
down in Pleasant Prairie. Like they sent me this sweet beer cooler, um, you know, right in Pleasant Prairie. I mean, it's a Wisconsin-based company, and
Yeah.
I love supporting Wisconsin companies, definitely. And I'm always looking for some more sponsors as well. And I've done
Yeah.
some other smaller stuff too with people like, hey, do something like this, and get X amount of money, whatever. But these are legit contracts where I make money,
Yeah.
that helps pay for hotel rooms and gas and beer and food and whatnot. So
Yeah. I understand. Speaking of, the other thing you have is merch. I love your merch, bro. When I see your merch, I'm like, that is wicked awesome. So, what prompted that? Did you, was it just out of people telling you need to have merch, or how did that come about?
well, actually, the way this TikTok account became a thing is, like, TikTok has a creator fund. Like, the way you make money on your views on TikTok, is to join the creator fund. You have to have X amount of follow. I'm not even sure what the criteria is anymore, but I think it used to be you have to have 10,000 followers and have at least 100,000 views a month. Something I'm not even sure. But so I had a regular TikTok account, and I got in the creator fund January 1st of 2024. And my views, as soon as I got in the creator fund, where I was getting paid for views, which isn't a lot, like was like 3 cents per 1,000 views or something.
Hmm.
But I got in the creator fund, and my views just tanked. Um, so I was like, I was in the creator fund for a week and I got out of it. It was probably January 6th, January 7th when I got out of the creator fund, and I told myself like, all right, um, screw the creator fund. I need to create an account where I can sell merchandise. Stay out of the creator fund, which I'm not in the creator fund. I don't get paid on views on TikTok, but my merchandise way more than makes up for the views, the money I would get from views on TikTok. So that was, I, if this might sound really weird, but I think I created this account around merchandise sales.
Hmm.
Like I almost created the merchandise in my head before I created the account. That probably doesn't make any sense whatsoever,
Really?
but yeah. So yeah, and I did like this logo. Like I designed this logo myself with the help of
Dude.
my local screen printing place, Ambry that works down there. Helped me design it. Like I told her what I wanted, and like, yeah, that's it. Like that's what I had in my head. So I've ran with that, and then maybe gosh, it was probably maybe 2.5 months later. Probably wasn't even that long. Probably a month and a half later. I went with these Wisconsin license plate hats.
Yeah, those are
and
awesome.
and I've sold a ton of them. I do really well on merchandise sales. It's always a roller coaster. You just never know. I mean, I don't ever want to rely on my merchandise sales because, um, that I might walk into a bar and sell $500 worth of stuff. I might not sell anything.
So do you
So
take your merch with you?
yeah, I have my
Oh,
most of the time I have my merch with me. In my truck, I've got stuff toted up. I'll buy a bunch of merchandise, and then I'll make my money back. One T-shirt, hoodie, hat, koozie, at a time. So um,
but you also have an online store too, right?
I
Or
do have an online store, and it's actually down right now just because my merch
okay.
lady was switching websites, but it should be back up. Should be back up and running by the end of this week, I would assume, or end of this coming week.
Okay, cool. Because I just love it. I think it's amazing. It's something that I've always wanted to do too. So I truly appreciate that. I think it's awesome, man. That hat. What made you think
Yeah.
of that hat?
Honestly, I thought of this hat because a buddy of mine, who is a local musician, and he's really big on social media too. Um, I saw a music video of his 4 years ago, probably, and he was wearing a Wisconsin license plate hat. It said something totally different on it. Um, but I remembered that. I have a photographic memory, so I remembered that. And when I was thinking about hats, I'm like, gosh, I wonder if I Google Wisconsin license plate hat, and this company, City Lokes, came up. It's the only merch that I have that isn't made in Wisconsin. They're made out of California. It's a great little company, City Lokes. I think they've been around for maybe close to 20 years now. I can call them. They'll answer on the second ring, and they know exactly who I am when I answer
Wow.
the phone. So they're wonderful, and people can. Those are available online through my link tree in my bios. But as far as my T-shirts and hoodies and stuff like that, that all comes from a different company. Furlong Design Studio, right in a little town in Diamond Bluff. They've got, I don't even know. It's right on the Mississippi River. They might have there might be 75 people in that town, but they do have an awesome dive bar that's a biker bar called the Naughty Hog, which is named perfectly.
That's awesome.
Well,
The naughty hog.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah,
Speaking
Naughty
of,
Nauti, so it's spelled a little different. Yeah,
I love it. Speaking of the places, how do you decide where to go? Do you have like a list? Do you have a master like book list? Like a little
I
black book?
I do have lists made up. My followers suggest places, which I love that. That for sure gives me a starting point at the very least. And now, like, kind of what I do is a lot of times I will look at my website and see where the gaps are in my map, and then I'll go fill out, gaps on the map. It kind of started out where I was just trying to hit different counties.
Hmm.
And in January, I've hit bars in all 72 counties in the state. So that was kind of my first, goal was to hit every county. Now that we're there, now I'm just going around filling the pockets, and summertime always gets crazy for me because I've got music festivals that I get invited to, like Country Boom down in West Salem, just outside of La Crosse. That's always the weekend after the Thursday, Friday, Saturday after the 4th of July. So obviously I'll be down in that area hitting bars, along with doing the music festivals and like last year I was invited down to Country in the Berg down in Cedarburg, so that I'll be down in that area, so I'll be hitting bars in that area, as well. So, and then like in my area, there's Country Jam, and
Oh,
Summer Jam here in Eau Claire. So like because I'm hitting bars, when I'm in the area while I'm at the music festival, so that kind of dictates kind of where I go on those weekends. So, summer does get pretty crazy, but it's summertime in Wisconsin is crazy anyway because it's
oh, dude,
it's
yeah,
it's spring break from Memorial Day to Labor Day. Let's be honest.
exactly, exactly. How do you navigate through the winter? Like, I mean, it must slow down a little bit, or is it pretty much the exact same?
It's the exact same. And surprisingly, there hasn't been. I haven't had to deal with crazy, stupid weather. I mean, I remember there was one trip I did a year ago in January. It was so foggy, like it was horrible. I couldn't see. I couldn't
Were
see
you
20.
up? Were you up by you, or where were
I
you
Yeah,
at?
I was actually in the Medford area.
Oh, geez,
The
okay,
home of Tombstone Pizza.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and it was bad. I couldn't get back to, and I'm out on these county roads and stuff that I'm not used to being, so I'm not familiar. But even I can even, like when you're driving to work, it's the same path I've done for 15 years. If you get those foggy mornings, like you just
Oh,
get
dude.
disoriented and you don't know, where you're at. So it's, you just got to be really careful. There's been a couple ice storms that got a little sketchy. But luckily nothing bad enough where it screwed up a whole weekend. That's for sure. So,
Have you had any unexpected dive bar experiences?
oh man, like I mean, I've seen some quirky stuff
Like what?
at dive bars. I mean, anything from minnow races to vibrator races to
What?
chicken shit bingo is a thing. It just quirky stuff. Yeah, it's I I've never I've never seen anybody race a vibrator before until um
How does it
only
even work? Is it
only in
on like
Wisconsin,
a
right?
slant? Yeah, is it on a
Yeah,
slant?
so this was they do it twice a year. This is Sandy Hook Tavern down in the southwest corner of the state, like
Okay.
really close to the tip of the southwest corner.
Okay.
And it's not even really a town. It's a great place that it's set up outside. They had a big fish fry going on. Total Wisconsin thing. So they had the same vibrators, and they would have them in a. Everybody would use the same vibrator, but it sounds really bad, doesn't it? So they would put them in this pillowcase, and I think they would race like six at a time. And so people would come up and they'd call a name, and you'd come up and you'd reach in and grab a vibrator out of the bag, and that was yours. And the funny part is people would name their vibrators too. Like,
I was just gonna
yeah,
ask.
yeah. And I like one of the names that I remember like sticks out in my head was Buzz Lightyear, which makes sense. But yeah, so they race. I would say the course is it must be kind of like rain gutter type things, kind of like a 45-degree slant. Well, then they go down, they go through these tubes, and then the finish line is down at another level. Well, the tubes are referred to as the fallopian tubes that they slide down through and get to the bottom. It's it's redneck engineering at its finest. Like,
Oh
so
my goodness, that's amazing.
yeah, and well, and the cool part is it's all a big fundraiser.
Oh,
It's a fundraiser for I'm not 100% sure, but I believe there was a local that passed away, and they do like a scholarship in his, in his honor that the that all the money goes to, and they do have a awesome trophy. Like the trophy's 4 feet tall with a vibrator on top of it. So
take that home for at
yeah,
night.
right.
Look what I
Yeah.
want, honey.
Yeah, I mean, it's Wisconsin. I mean, I tell people like, you give us a stick and a milkweed leaf and we'll make a drinking game out of it. Like we will.
That's amazing. So let's look ahead. Do you have anything like long term, like a book, maybe a series, world domination?
Yeah. Yes, yes, and yes. No, I've had people reach out to me, that have books on, Wisconsin history and stuff like that because these dive bars are the nostalgic history of Wisconsin is so insane, and that's one of the things too, like the Tavern League of Wisconsin is they're here to help preserve.
Right.
They've been around for 90 years, 1935. They've been around. They're basically a union for these bars, and I've met so many great people, through the Tavern League, and as long as if I can help it, the Tavern League can help it. These bars are going to be around for a long, long time.
Hmm.
And but yeah, I mean, we've already started plans. Like probably a month ago, I've already started plans for a party for bar number 1,000. Um,
Oh
we're
yeah.
we're looking at that. Like we're looking middle to end of September probably is when that's going to happen. If I keep up the same pace that I have, like I can hone in, and I've already got a bar location picked out for it that will be announced probably maybe 6 weeks beforehand. So but I know the owners of the bar. I've gotten to know them really well, and I love those guys. And I brought that up to them in April. I'm like, hey, like, what do you think about being bar number 1,000? And they're all about it. So just
Yeah,
kind
that's
of,
awesome.
they've almost become family to me. Like, so many of these dive bar patrons, they're not blood related, but they're family.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, it's, stuff like that. I mean, that's kind of the immediate future, but I mean, it'd be cool I don't know if I've got a face for TV, but I've got a face for social media, I guess. But it would be cool. I mean, if somebody, I don't watch a lot of TV, but if somebody had a dive bar show, like I'd probably watch it, But
Yeah, I think that would
um,
be cool, man. I think it'd be different. It's so different,
yeah.
bro.
Well,
It,
but I guess I say that, and I know there's a show Bar Rescue.
yeah.
I've never seen a second of it.
And
Um,
what's the one
the
that
diner, yeah,
yeah,
Dive
diners,
Yeti,
dive-ins,
yeah,
and dives, whatever.
yeah.
Or
I've never seen it. I've never seen it. But I mean, that's cool. I mean, like
yeah,
when I started this, that's one of my buddies told me that, he's like, well, you're going to be the Guy Fieri of dive bars. And I'm like,
yeah.
I know who he was, for his cooking stuff, whatever, before that show. But yeah, I mean, I'll take his bank account any day without
Yeah, for sure.
it.
Yeah, man. 100%.
But
Um, are there any places that you want to hit in the future? Like I have to hit this besides your
um,
1000th, that because that's different, but like
I
a
I would
place.
say the first place that popped in my head when you said that is Tom's Burn Down Cafe on Madeline Island. That's it's a dive bar out there, and obviously the setting is incredible. I've seen pictures, and so I'm hoping to get up there within the next couple of months. That'll be an experience. We'll have to take a ferry over and do all that stuff, which will just add to the experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many great places um, that I want to hit. That people, like Zenda Tap is another one I can think of right off the top of my head, down in the southeast, corner of the state. Places get suggested so much. I'm like,
Oh,
why
I'm
is this?
sure.
why has this bar been suggested 500 times? Like I need to go figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's how I stumbled across some of these great places. And I couldn't do what I do if it wasn't for the help of my followers, because some of these places are not easy to find.
Yeah.
My
I
GPS
bet.
can't find them sometimes, but
Oh, dude, that's a question I would, yeah. What is that
yeah.
like? Like, have you ever had that happen where I can't freaking find this place?
Um, that's never happened, but like going to a place, I remember it was Babe's Country Club, southwest of Mauston, a little
Oh,
bit. So kind of Wisconsin Dells area.
yeah.
The GPS in my truck it looked like we were driving across Lake Michigan. Like it was all blue. There was no road. I had no cell phone service, but luckily I was locked in on my phone. So I mean, I was running off the satellite. So I mean, so I was able to like I found it. And I told my fiance, I'm like, I've got a feeling, when we find this place, it's not going to be a country club. And
Uh,
it wasn't a country club. And I don't know if they were just giving me crap, but I said something to them when I got there, and I'm like, well, thought this was a country club, and they're like, well, you can go outside and just tee up a golf ball and rifle it into the woods if you want to, but the rumor had it they wanted to build a golf course there, and they built the 19th hole first, and that's all the further they got. So whether it's true or not, maybe it was some locals just pulling my leg, but hell, I'm sticking to that story.
um, any like collaborations that you would ever do? Like, I always thought for you, it'd be kind of cool to do like a beer collab. Like
Right.
get a craft beer, a small beer guy, and
Yeah.
create a beer with him. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, I do have my own vodka.
What?
Yeah, that's been a thing since last August. So yeah, like my logo that I designed is it's on a bottle of vodka.
What?
Um, and so yeah, like I had Dan and Kim who own Timekeeper Distillery in Wausau. It's an old train depot that they turned into a distillery, and now they actually have a sister location. Now they have a Green Bay location, maybe 6 blocks away from Lambeau Field. Um, so yeah, he reached out to me a year ago and asked if I'd be interested in having my own vodka, and I'm like, absolutely. So I got to design the logo, the label for it and everything. Like I didn't realize that the label, it has to be okayed through the government. Um,
Oh,
but so yeah, I mean it's all FDA stuff. And so I told Dan, I'm like, you go into a bar and all the booze is people want bright stuff and bright caps and stuff that sticks out. I'm like, I'm doing dive bar stuff. Let's do it totally different. Um,
yeah.
so I mean, I went black and white, and he's like, I like it. I like it. So yeah, I mean, this is it's distributed. Like I said, it's made right in Wausau, 100% made in Wisconsin. No matter how crazy the world gets, we're never going to have a tariff on my vodka. Um, and um, and it's distributed right now. It's distributed through Bill's Distributing out of Menominee and Superior. So if anybody's interested in getting it, get a hold of Bill's Distributing. And so yeah, and it's good stuff. I mean, it's not dive. I mean, it's dive bar vodka, but it's not
Uh,
real vodka, that's for sure.
right. Yeah, dude,
But
that's awesome.
yeah, it runs. I've seen it in liquor stores from anywhere from $17 to $21. So
Dang,
it's
man.
not terrible. It's distilled from corn, and I mean, it's your typical lady proof vodka. It's distilled 6 times, so it's nice and smooth. And it's definitely I'm a vodka lemonade guy in the summer too. But when I'm chilling at home, I'm not going to be drinking hard liquor
Right.
and doing. Cause I can't be speaking cursive in front of these bars, doing what I do. So I stick to beers when I'm out reviewing bars. And
Probably a good idea.
yeah.
What's your
So
go-to drink when is it beer? That's your go-to
yeah,
drink?
I'm definitely a Bush Light guy. I'm gonna grab one right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a Bush Light guy. I like smooth beer. I mean, I can drink pretty much any light beer.
You gotta do it.
But
Whoosh.
But yeah, but I do have Crohn's disease too, so I have to watch it. Like
Oh, wow.
so some of the things, like I can't eat spicy things, and there's just certain things that just upset my stomach. So yeah, I just have to be careful. So I mean, that's kind of the biggest reason why, why I stick to Bush Light. It sits well in my stomach. So um, and I think it tastes freaking great, even though
Yeah.
it's not made in Wisconsin. It is the number one selling beer in Wisconsin without a doubt.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I mean,
That's
I've got PBR in my fridge here too, and I mean, I love Kugels. Right now, where I'm sitting, I know I'm 2.9 miles away from the original Kugels
yeah,
brewery, which
Liney's.
unfortunately is no longer a thing. But they
Yeah.
do still have their Liney Lodge, where you can, and they have their pilot brewery there, too. So
The Chippewa
um,
Falls.
yeah,
I heard, are they bringing that back, or are they bringing there was something that I saw like briefly about the cabin or the lodge. Are
yeah,
they
they still,
doing
well, the lodge is still open. The Liney
okay?
Lodge is still open. As far as where it's the brewery itself. I haven't heard anything that it's back
Okay.
open. I know the Kugel family wanted to purchase it back from Molson Coors. I
Maybe
don't
that's
know.
what I saw.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a possibility or not, but it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, times change. And sometimes these bigger companies buy out the smaller ones, and sometimes it's Miller doesn't, the Miller doesn't care about the 190 years of history, whatever it is, with, well, was it 1864, I believe? Line something,
Yeah.
I think 1864. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
180 years, whatever it is. But
You
yeah, I
know,
mean, I like Liney's too. So,
I do too, man. And the Shandy series are phenomenal.
yeah,
It really is cool. Liney's is one of the first. I am a beer snob. I self-admitted. I don't care. And Liney's was one of the first beers that actually kind of like led me down that road, believe it or
yeah,
not, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah,
yeah,
100%. It was so good. Because it was so consistent.
right.
For a smaller beer.
Yeah,
It
everyone tastes the same, no
yes.
matter where you bought it from, or
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. We're almost out of time, dude, but I got some more couple more
All
questions
right,
for you.
all right.
Um, so if you could bring three people to your favorite dive bar for a round of drinks, dead or alive, doesn't matter.
Hmm.
Who's coming with you and why? It's got to be three.
The immediate, Chris Farley. And
Mm.
do I have to say why? Because I mean, that's pretty much
Yeah, I
self-explanatory.
was gonna say.
Um,
You go
the
to
mo
go to the dive bar down by the river.
yeah, yeah, he is the epitome of Wisconsin. He was phenomenal. Unfortunately, gone way too soon, but he just, he's the most famous Wisconsinite that we have that hasn't murdered people, you know. Um, but gosh, and I don't, man, a couple more. Gosh, that's a really tough question.
Oh, your
Um,
fiance. You got to bring your fiance.
well, yeah, I mean, she's usually with me anyway because
Exactly.
she's almost contractually obligated to do this, um, but yeah, I mean, and she's great. She's a trooper for putting up with the shenanigans. I mean, there's not the drama that goes along with it. Like we don't do that stuff,
Yeah.
but yeah, and obviously, yeah, I'd like to have her, by my side when I'm doing my thing, and I don't know, another, I would say another, let's do another. He's a Wisconsinite, not born here, but I would love to have some cold ones with Brett Favre at a dive bar.
Oh, there you go.
Because I know, like, it's going to some of these dive bars. I've heard stories of him at these dive bars that I've been at. Like, oh yeah, him and Mark Chimura used to come in here all the time. And
Chewy.
yeah. But yeah, talk about a fall from grace with Chewy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I have people that follow me. That I've got NFL players that follow me. I've got like Colin Blackwell plays. He was playing for the Blackhawks for a couple years now. He plays with the Dallas Stars.
Yeah.
Lives in Milwaukee in the off season. He's from Boston. Went to college at Harvard. But listen, Milwaukee in the off season, we're gonna get together this summer and drink some beers. But right now,
Dude.
he's got a Stanley Cup to win right now, so
Yeah.
they're in round two, got 1 game to none. But it doesn't matter. I've got actors that follow me too, like Andy Richter from the Conan O'Brien show. He
Really?
follows me, yeah. And it doesn't matter if you've got $10 in your wallet or 10 million bucks. Everybody loves dive bars.
100%.
You
Love
know.
that, man. I love that. Jared, we are almost out of time. I really appreciate you coming on. Go ahead and promote yourself, where people can find you and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I guess you can find me on, like I said, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Threads, Wisco Dive Bars. If you're on Facebook, look for the blue check mark. I guess Facebook, Instagram, Threads, the blue check mark is there. Or check out my website, wiscodivebars.com. We're going to be changing that up a little bit more. We're going to be bringing more to that, but that's where the map is of all currently 875 places that I've been. So, other than that, you can find me at your local dive bar. If you've got a favorite bar that I haven't reviewed yet, just sit there and wait, and I'll show up eventually.
Love that. And of course, I will include all of that in the show notes. Jared, hey man, I really, really appreciate you coming on, taking the time.
Yeah, I
You
appreciate you inviting me
like
on. It was a
like
blast.
seriously, and I would really, really love to be a part of your 1,000th place.
Absolutely.
So keep me in the loop with that. I would love to do a countdown with you.
Okay.
Maybe we do like at 10. We have 10 left.
Yeah.
We can do a countdown or whatever you want to do. I would love to be a part of that, though.
Yeah.
That'd be
We're
great.
gonna and when we get to 9.99, like we're gonna have to do it in Prince style. We're gonna party like it's 9.99, right?
I
So
love it. All right. Well, thank you, bro. Thank you, everybody watching, everybody listening. And until next time, we'll see you later.
appreciate you.
There it is.
That was pretty smooth, huh?
It's gotta be against the law to look this damn good. Cause baby, I feel real good and I wish I would. It's gotta be against the law to look this damn good. Everybody watch out. Watch out now. I'm ready for a good time and I came to groove the whole band.